What do you think you're doing, bub? If you think that's the corniest line ever, you should hear the one I said earlier. Hey, how you doing, bub? Disclaimer, do not be stupid enough to not ask help from an adult to use dangerous materials if you're underage. We ain't responsible for any accidents. Enjoy, I mean be careful. Today, welcome to a Halloween-themed Creative World episode. Well, technically, Halloween won't be for another week. And technically, as I'm shooting this, Halloween isn't for another month. But who cares? Now is now! So as you can see, I have allowed a Dr. William Stryker to inject me with adamantium. Nah, I'm just kidding, it's just a box. What I actually did is I collected shanks from my grandfather's World War II collection and put them in this box. I'm just kidding. Ba-da-bum. Confound it, not this again! So to learn how to actually make these, first the materials you're going to need are cardboard, a plastic chips bag, string, duct tape, masking tape, scotch tape, newspapers, glue, an acrylic paint set, a dead animal. Just kidding. So come on, X-Men, let's begin before the apocalypse. First thing, we need the shape and length of the box, so lengthen your arm from the fist to the middle of your forearm and put it on the cardboard. Now we also need the width of your arm. For me, the width of my arm is 3 inches, but that actually just depends on your own arm. So we take those lengths and shape them into a rectangular box. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make the claws. So first we take the length of the box, which is 9 inches, and then we make the claws half an inch shorter, so it's 8.5 inches. Make the claws width half an inch wide. To make the strip look like a claw, we can cut off a slope on the edge. Do it in any way you want. When it is perfect, cut the whole claw off the board. And with that claw, duplicate its shape by tracing it on the board and making 5 more pieces of claws. After a lot of duplicating and cutting off the claws, we divide the 6 pieces into 3. We didn't make 6 claws for free on each arm. We made 6 claws so we can glue them to each other. Now take the glue and 2 claws, and put glue halfway in one claw, up the spiky tip side. If you're wondering why we only put glue halfway up and not on the rest, it's because when you stick both pieces together, we will proceed to stuffing the bottom with newspaper pieces. You'll understand why later. So, when you put glue on all the pieces and stuff them together, let's put them in position with the base. The base is also the box, don't let that confuse you. Now, if we imagine the box finally done, let's imagine the Wolverine claws shooting out of it. Normally, when we imagine the claws coming out of the box, it comes out straight, but that's not really how I want it to come out. Boring. We need to make it look like actual Wolverine claws, and Wolverine's claws come out in different directions. So to make it look very Wolverine-like, imagine the claws in the coming out position again, but put them in the position it should be, like Wolverine style, if you know what I mean. Oppa Wolverine style. Oppa Wolverine style. Okay, I'll stop. Now, if you notice very well, there are little spaces shaping in between the claws. Let me point that out to you. Here they are. If I'm right, the shapes of those little spaces are triangles. If it doesn't look like triangles on yours, then what the hell are you doing? Anyway, so let's make tiny cardboard walls to cover up the triangles. Make the walls out of cardboard and match the width of it with the width of the claws, which is half an inch wide. Now make sure you drew the size of the triangle spaces so you know where to place the walls. Take masking tape and use that to put the walls together. When the walls stand, take small pieces of newspaper and stuff it in the space. Patch up the roof with tape so it stays in place too. Now when the triangle spaces are now walls positioning the claws, do the same thing on the open spaces on their other sides. Let me point that out to you. They're right here. But before you start on the walls, first let's make a box out of the base. As you can see, I drew short walls around the base. You need the walls to have a width of 2 or 3 centimeters, so the claws inside the box won't get stuck inside. Now after you do that, take the size and shape of the main base and duplicate it aside one of the 2 centimeter walls. That will be the cover or the roof of the box if you prefer. The length of it is 22.5 centimeters and the width is 3 inches. When it is done, cut it out. And now before we put the walls up, let's fill in the open spaces for the claws again. So let's get back to the claws. As I mentioned before, later, which is right now, we'll need to squeeze newspaper pieces in between the bottom of each claw. And that is why we didn't glue the claw all the way. Now, when squeezing newspapers in between claws, make sure the bottom is fat but not so fat that the claw won't be able to fit its way out of the box. Now use masking tape and do it on all the claws. After testing and testing of the claws to see if they'd come out, it is time we put the box together. Now close the walls together but do not shut the lid yet. So when that's done, let's cut open some holes for the claws to come out from. And to make it a little more open for the claws, while cutting holes, try to make the holes reach until the floor of it. And now, knowing that the claws may not cooperate easily because they shoot themselves out or not come out at all, here's a small idea. Use the string and lengthen the distance between the claws coming out and the claws retracted. And then use duct tape to stick the strings to the claws and the wall. This may not allow it to get the claws to come out easily, but it will prevent the claws from shooting out of the box. Now when you're done with that, take the plastic chips bag, wash it, and cut it open. If your chips bag is like mine, the inside of it is a metallic color like silver or foil, or if you're into it that much, adamantium. So cut up a big fat strip of it and use it as a cover for the cardboard claws. Do it in any way you want, just use transparent tape. And voila! You have adamantium claws. But wait, we're not done yet. If you still have trouble with the claws getting stuck and refusing to shoot out, it's probably because the lid/roof is squeezing it in tight. So what you need to do here is to elevate the roof open just enough that the claws are retractable. To do this, you need to squeeze pieces of newspaper in between the walls and the lid, and then masking tape it there. Now this next part involves doing it yourself. It's because we're drawing the handles for your hands. So basically, just follow what I'm drawing here. And then cut it out. And if you seem hopeless and feel like you can't do it, just remember what Shia LaBeouf says. Just do it! Now tape it with masking tape on the edge of the box where the claws come out. Make sure it is secured. Obviously, the handle won't do much just like that, so we need a sort of belt to hold the rest of the box. All we need here is to cut out a fat strip of cardboard that you can wrap around your forearm and then masking tape it to the other end of the box. After making sure it is secured and works very good, cover it in black paint, acrylic best. And of course, do not friggin' paint on the claws or you're a doofus. Now, this last one's pretty optional, depends if you want to make it or not, but I advise you to continue with it because it brings a little color to the box. Make an original yellow X-Men symbol on top of the box, but of course, before you paint some yellow to it, start off with the color white so that when it's time to put the yellow on, it is brighter. Now, congratulations, Butcherphobics! Your retractable Wolverine claws project is now finished. Now, all your friends will be like, dude, where did you get your skeleton to be metal? Well, that is of course if your friends are drugged or intoxicated or sounds like, dude. I hear Taylor Swift says haters gonna hate, but what does she know? She doesn't have a YouTube channel. So I'll just tear the haters to shreds. I'm Batman. Hey, even if it won't be Halloween the next week, comment more suggestions for what I should make next. Something good, something bad, or something ugly. Like this guy. Oh, thanks for LSCS, that's for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. And please do. So this is Butcherphobia. Happy Halloween, Butcherphobics.